So, hello everyone. Good to see you again. And today being the last day of the orientation camp and ending the day with a very special guest, Nangsel, right here. Um, it's an honor to have you here, Nangsel, and your work actually speaks volumes in terms of how what we are trying to achieve here in the Earth Circle. And I remember the first conversation that we had lasted over a meal, and yeah, it was something really. Um, Inspiring for me, and your questions also helped me think, rethink things, because that time was a point of time when the Earth Circle was not really what it is right now, and we are still not anywhere near where we want to be, right? But yeah, enough said about that. Just want to introduce everyone to Nangsel here. um, this cohort that you have here is the first ever cohort, and she Nangsel has been a researcher and the co-founder of the Pomelo, and I had not known her. I actually, it's like her reputation precedes her. So when I got to know about Pomelo, like, and I saw what they were about, I really wanted to get in touch and kind of understand what they're trying to do, because at Mohan, with the youth collective, we were trying to do something very similar, but we didn't have any structure, we didn't have expertise, and looking at that, how they were doing the work, I really wanted to share her to share it with you all also. So yeah, without further ado, Nangsel, please take this forward.
Thanks, thank you so much, Nihal, for those kind words. And hi, everyone. So excited to meet you all and be part of this. I've been following the previous sessions, and I hope I can at least do what they have done in the previous sessions and make it as interesting that I hoped to. Nandini, is it okay if you can share the screen maybe right now?
Okay. Which one, the video or the
No, the PPT.
PDF? PPT? Okay. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
visible.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Uh, so I had a lot of brainstorming to do on like what the session should be named, and I thought of naming it Re-Searching Stories in the Eastern Himalayas because my work has and my and the Pomelo's work has been mostly around the Eastern Himalayan region, that is Darjeeling and Kalimpong region. And so maybe we'll talk about why I did name it re searching and what it means, especially in context to the Eastern Himalayan region. Yeah. So before we even get ahead with our introductions, maybe in the next slide we can just like take a minute to just like see and do a quick check-in of how we are all feeling. Um, yeah, Nandini, next slide, please. I might just have to give you like
Yes.
verbal cues. Yeah.
It's not moving. Wait. No.
So how do we feel today? I think maybe I'll start because I'm feeling a little scared in terms of like what's the reaction going to be, how the conversations will turn up. But I'm very, very happy as well to be out here. So yeah, scared and happy. Those are the two pandas that I'm it's in going in my head. But yeah, maybe I'll tag Nandini and like yeah, we can tag each other and just
I am feeling happy, tired, and strong because we have successfully conducted 3 days of OC, and it was satisfactory also. So that's why I'm feeling strong and happy. And it was a tiring process. That's why a little bit tired also. And were you people able to hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I am not able to look at anyone right now, but I will tag Aman.
Aman, are you there? Can you hear us? Okay, till then, Nandini, tag someone else.
Okay, ठीक है तो I am tagging Nitin.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, yes. So I think I am feeling the best panda which I could see was the silly one, which is very different from all other, like who's dancing, I think, maybe dancing. So I'm feeling silly right now because it's a mixed feeling. We have completed our OC today and we are about to, go for the immersion. And the head is actually, means there are a lot of things going on in the head, like how things are going to be. So yeah, I think I'm feeling silly right now. It's the cutest panda. Okay, so I would like to tag, uh, I think I would like to tag Manju. I hope I was audible.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm feeling happy, the panda that represents happy, because I know through this session I'm going to learn something new. So I'm really happy about that. And I also feel tired because I'm not in good health. Yeah, there are the two feelings. Yeah, I would like to tag Tarushi if she's here. Okay, Tarushi's not here. Or maybe Prachi.
Thanks, Manju, for tagging. Um, I guess it's pretty much the same with everyone else because I'm happy to be here, but I have a bad headache since morning and it hasn't been any better. So, yeah, but looking forward to the session. I'll tag Lavanya.
Lavanya, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes, yes, hi.
So today I'm feeling very happy, I guess, because happy and tired. I just woke up from a nap.
Thanks for sharing, Lavanya. Tag someone.
Mm, who is left? Imsang.
Huh.
Thank you, Lavanya. I knew it would take me. I'm just feeling like happy, tired, and I think strong. Happy because, like, I know Nangsel because he's the member of Eastern Himalaya Foundation, and tired because from morning I'm having season because I'm not too much addicted to phone and all no, and my eye was paining too much. And afterwards, when I just roam around the my that forest here, I'm feeling very energetic and strong. So I will tag Aditya Da.
Thank you. Uh, I am feeling both happy and sad because, well, happy because I'm looking so forward to come to the offline emotion, and sad because I could not attend the last 3 days. I had an important meeting. I just finished that, so I have had time to join. So yeah, is there anyone left? Uh, Maybe someone who did not speak yes before.
Yeah, I'll go next. So I
Yeah,
Sanjana.
okay, fine.
okay, it's I think what I found is quite a coincidence. I'm wearing a mountain shirt, so for such a great thing, and I am very happy. I'm feeling strong, but I kind of wish there was an excited panda too. So Nihal, please do that next time. There are gonna be people who love excitement and some energy. So yeah, super excited
Okay.
for this event.
I think like, I mean, in general, excitement is already there. With that, I think the emotion is like, an add-on. Yeah. I'll tag someone.
Yes, somebody was left after me, right? Someone did raise their hand or something.
Rami, Sunny are left, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ramesh. Nice name. Hmm.
Thank you, Payal, for tagging me. Uh, I'm so sorry I won't be able to see on my camera. I'm driving at this point. At the same time, I reverberate what Payal said. We really needed an excited panda. Right. I am happy and at the same time mad. Happy because definitely really excited for the emotion, and mad because I had to travel 30 kilometers to go to a place where I usually buy my traditionals, and unfortunately that place was closed today. So
Oh,
mad for that.
tag Ramesh.
Tag was Sunny. Sunny was done.
No.
No
Who was Sunny was not done. Sunny. Next.
game, Ramesh. So I'm feeling happy and tired. Happy mostly because uh, after a few days we all are going to meet, and tired because I just got done with some work. Yeah, that is it.
Nihal is left.
Yeah, I tagged Nahal.
Okay, yeah. So I think excitement is always the generic thing, like I said, for me. But I also feel silly because I think in a day I have gone in today. I've gone through all these emotions, and now the only thing left for me is to be silly. I'm just yeah. So yeah, I feel very silly right now. There's anyone left? Is there anyone left?
Is Kirti here? I haven't heard her speaking.
Kirti, I think she dropped out right now. She is yeah. She had
Okay.
joined, but ठीक है, we can continue.
Thank you so much. I think he's not here, no? Yeah. I think so we like just covered one. Yeah. So thank you so much everyone for sharing how you feel. And I feel it's a mix of happy, tired, and silly as well. So yeah. Also, just a heads up, this session I really want like people to speak. Like there will be some activity based. So I hope like those who are like feeling tired, I hope it's not too exhausting, but do let me know if it becomes too exhausting to look at the screen or like to just to talk. Like you can always use the chat box, feel free to use it, and like yeah, just have fun. So maybe in the next slide, Nandini, we can go through the flow of the session. How is it going to be structured, so you get like what you're getting into, and like yeah. Thank you, Nandini. So first, maybe we can just start with the introductions. I'll be also introducing the Pomelo. Then I'll be talking about In Her Footsteps, which is the oral project. Then we will have a short activity. I've named it Questions and Interrogations. And then we will be having about searching stories. Then there will be another activity two, which will be on positionality, interrogating your location, your position in society vis-a-vis the communities that you will be working with, collaborating with, the ethical considerations that one should have, or you already know, maybe just reiterating those things. And I think so one thing that Nihal also wanted me to emphasize was on ways of documentation. So maybe we can just touch a little bit upon like what are the kind of ways we want to document, and maybe just brainstorm in the last topic itself. Yeah, so maybe we can just start with the introduction. I will, so if we can just take out a little bit of time and just write our names and our pronouns in our Zoom, that will be really helpful for me so that I don't get any pronouns wrong. So yeah, I've put, so hi everyone, I am Nangsel and my pronouns are she, her. What do I expect from this session is I hope that we are able to co-create knowledge in some way. And I also hope that there will be a lot of sharing of ideas, different ideas that comes to this session. So yeah, that is my expectation from the session. But maybe if someone would like to go, I can see Lavanya as well. So maybe Lavanya, would you want to just go? Yeah. In the meantime, please rename yourself, add your pronouns in the Zoom.
My name is Lavanya. My pronouns are she and her. Expectations I don't have a lot of expectations except getting something new to learn from this session. Yes.
Thanks, Lavanya. Would you want to tag someone else? Yeah.
Imsang.
Anyway, so myself, Emsang Tamang from Darjeeling. So you can tell me she or her. So I in this session I came to know new people and different countries, friends and all. And this session helped me a lot to improve myself and to learn new things. And I'm just excited to go for the immersion program. And I would like to tag Manju.
Okay, thank you, Emsang, for tagging me. I'm Manju Gurung, and my pronouns are she and her. Uh, the expectations that I have from this session is basically I belong to Darjeeling and Kalimpong, so I'm really interested in knowing the stories that are that I don't know yet, and learning more about them, you know in a way that excites me and makes me want to dive more into the subject. Yeah, and I'd like to tag um maybe I'd like to tag Lavanya.
Done, done. Lavinia is done, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Lavanya.
Yes, Nitin.
Hi, thank you so much, Manju, for tagging me. I hope I'm audible because usually I'm not. So, my name is Nitin. I'm from Delhi. My pronouns are they and them, and I'm really looking forward to know more about Eastern, Himalayas, mountains, and also the stories we have, because I think there are a lot of interesting stories which are unnoticed, unheard, and I want to know more about it. Also, knowing how to do the research, because I'm really interested in research and at an intersection of gender, environment. So I would want to know, and I think it will be discussed in the later part of the session. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. So thank you so much. And I would want to tag Aditya.
Thanks, Nitin. So my name is Aditya. My pronouns are he and him. And I'm really looking forward to this session because the formula is something that I already am familiar with. I have been reading the various perspectives that they bring, and I really like knowing that. So, and in this session, I'm looking forward to again more perspectives from the Northeast and learning from. I'll tag Aman.
I'll just check with Aman if his network is okay. You can tag someone else till then.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Can you tag someone else till then? Aman's net. I'll just check Aman's network.
Hello.
Yeah, Aditya, tag someone else.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tag uh, Ramiz.
Hello, Aditya. Thank you so much for tagging me. Just for the context, when you talk about expectations from the session, is it from this particular session or the entire
Yes.
immersion?
Ramesh from this particular session. Yeah.
From this particular session, yeah, I just wanted to know more what the speakers had to say. I did not come with a set of expectations in mind, but definitely I'm open to explore.
Thank you, Ramesh. Maybe you do want to tag someone else.
I will tag Prachi.
Hi, thanks for talking, Ramesh. Um, just like Prava taught us to empty our cups. I think I'm pretty much sitting with an empty cup, and I did not bring any set of expectations, just like previously said. So, really hoping that the information that gets in the cup is exciting and, makes me more excited to come to Kalimpong. Um, I can tag Payal. Oh, I forgot to share my pronouns. So, my name is Raji and my pronouns are she and her.
Hi. So I have shared my expectations in the chat bar, but it is to observe and learn about the Eastern Himalayas and to support my friend Nihal over here. I'll
Thank you,
tag
Payal.
um, anybody who's left.
Yeah, maybe Sunny can go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I the only one left? Anyway, so hello, I'm Sunny, and I'm from Darjeeling. My pronouns are he, him, I guess. So my expectations, I don't have much expectation because I was not really prepared for this, to be honest. Uh, I just had a hectic work. So I only expect to be mindful and to learn whatever um, our speaker has to say, and yeah, to grow more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sunny, and everyone for their introductions.
I think Nandini is left.
Yeah,
Nandini.
and there is, I think so, Nandini. Yeah.
Nandini and Nangsel.
Hi guys, my name is Nandini and my pronouns are her, she and her. With this, okay, Aman is here. My expectation is to gain new knowledge, have fun, and contribute to the session in whatever capacity I can. And I am tagging Aman. He just entered.
So Aman, we are just doing what is your name, then what are your pronouns, and what are your expectations from this session? So if you want to share.
Okay. So my name is Aman, and my pronouns are he, him, and uh, actually, my connection is not that supporting, so I didn't hear much.
Aman, you were
So,
just talking about what were the expectation from this session, if you had any expectation.
okay. My expectation from this session is learning more about sustainability or leadership. Yeah. So, uh, is there any left to tag?
I am left.
Oh, okay, so I'm tagging Nihal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Nehal. My pronouns are he and him. Uh, and my expectations, like Sunny said, is actually being mindful and also learning, like, how we can do research and simplify it in various different ways, well, like, yeah. And I would like to tag Kirti. Kirti, you've just joined. So what we are doing right now is we are introducing ourselves, our name, our pronouns, and what your expectations are from the session. Would you like to go?
Yeah. Hi, Nihal. So, hello everybody. My name is Kirti. My pronouns are she, her, and my expectation from this session is to learn, is to have a glimpse um, of the topic, and I would like to tag.
I think so, Kriti, you were the last person to like
Sorry.
introduce.
Oh,
The last
okay.
person. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kirti, for sharing and joining the session. Thank you so much, everyone. It's always good to know what are the expectations, and I feel it's a mixed bag where So like a lot of you may have visited, a lot of you are from the Eastern Himalayan region. So maybe I'll just be reiterating a lot of facts, but also let's hope that there will be some key takeaways for you. So yeah, maybe we can go to the next slide, Nandini. Yeah. So before I begin about what we do, maybe just introducing the team. So we are a collective of individuals identifying as women from Nepal, Arunachal Pradesh, and Darjeeling Hills. We have a new a team member who has joined, who is from Assam as well. So it's basically covering everyone from the Himalayan region. Yeah. So that's the team behind it. And I think so it's there on our website as well. So the most important question that really comes is like, why did we start the Pomelo, exploring Himalayan voices? I think it's also because of our own personal journey in cities that were not from in cities where we were racial, ethnic, religious minorities. So from that motivation, I think so we all started. So the people who started was Fatima, Drixo, and me. We started it in 2021. So it's almost been like 3 years since we've started the Pomelo. What we do primarily is we want to look at the intersections of identity that is specific to the Eastern Himalayan region. That's how we started, but we are also building on other Himalayan identities as well, and also building on especially the Western Himalayas if they are coming from Ladakh and from, I think so there might be a small glitch of screen sharing right now. Yeah, if you'd want to take a look at that, but yeah. And I think so what we wanted was a platform that did,
Yeah, I'm saying I think your screen is being shared right now instead of Nandini's. Can you try to turn it off?
Nihal, can you remove the access? Can you give access to specific people only?
Yeah, sure.
until this is being figured out, maybe I'll just
Yeah, done. Sorry. So sorry for the interruption. I think it's a glitch. But this screen is still not going. Yeah, it's gone. Nandini, can you share? Yeah.
So our motivation was primarily because we had migrated from Darjeeling and we wanted a space where women are able to express their opinions, their views without being tone policed. And I feel there is also the thing that we experience, our experiences of gender, race, ethnicity, religion is very different from the rest of India, or what I would say, the northern central Indian plains. Because of our geographical specificity, the way we experience gender is very different. The way in caste is manifested in our region is very different. The way religion and ethnic politics happens is very different. And we wanted a platform that's not only feminist, but also does not tone police, where everyone can actually just share their opinions freely. So that was like just the preliminary motivation in which we wanted to establish the Pomelo. And why did we name the Pomelo is also those who are Nepali speaking or are from the region, they know the fruit bhagate. So it's a very common fruit found across the Himalayan region, and I feel even in Bihar and UP, parts of Bihar and UP, where it's a local fruit. And the pomelo was often used actually to depict women's vaginas. So that was the motivation in which we wanted like a fruit being depicted for women's bodies to come off as so we named it the pomelo, where like it's about women and representation of women. Yeah. So maybe we can just go to the next slide. And what's the type of work that we do is for those who are unfamiliar with our work, and it's about we publish a lot of stories, research and opinion pieces around the Himalayan region, but also otherwise. those who wanted to share on across India, Nepal, or anything that's specific to Tibet as well. We are very much open to that as well. So we have a reading circle called the Pomelo Reading Circle, where we platform South Asian, feminist, and queer authors, writers from the region, and we platform them, we read them, we discuss them, and then we also conduct workshops within our through our platform where we are all workshops for writing, publishing, and we also conduct workshop for other organizations or for writing, reading, and like researching. So that's what we also do. Then there is a new project that we started is the Oral Archive project, in which we can talk about a little more in the next section. Yeah. But before we talk about the Oral Archive project, maybe there will be like a video short trailer that was shot by my friend Shubhangi, who is also a team member. She's also a documentary filmmaker based out of Kathmandu. So she's the one who shot the teaser trailer. So the Oral Archive project that we actually started was supported by the Sandbox Collective and the Goethe Institute in Bangalore. And yeah, just credits to them and shout out to them for supporting this project. Yeah, maybe we can just show the project, a trailer, Nandini, at this point.
Yeah. Just give me a moment and I'll share.
Maybe if you can expand the screen as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Nandini, for sharing. And that was the small teaser that we had. But if anyone has any thoughts regarding the teaser, any questions or any feeling that you had like while watching the teaser, please feel free to share.
May I share? Uh,
Yeah, sure, please, Nihal.
I just felt, though aesthetic, it shows a very real side of life and very slow side of life, I feel. So that was really nice.
Thank you so much, Nihal. Nitin, maybe you can try again. We couldn't hear you though. Yeah, you're not audible, Nitin, for some reason. No? We can't hear you.
Yeah, Nitin, if you want, you can also text. Payal has also written something. Would you like to share, Payal?
Yeah, so I actually have some construction work behind, so excuse me if you can't like hear me clearly. But I really love the documentary, the teaser actually. I'm looking forward to the documentary now. So kudos on that. Love the music, love the slowness. It really transpired sitting over here. It felt very nice.
Thank you so much, Payal, for sharing. Yeah. I think so. Manju had her hand raised. So Manju, you want to go?
Yes. Actually, while watching the video, I was really touched. I just had a thought that, looking at those elderly women who are so, even if they are aged, like I mean, they must be above 50, I suppose. So still at that age to have some passion, like some of them were weaving, some of they were making some craft, so they were engaged in something. I guess that was the passion that they still continued. And I was just thinking to myself, when I reach that age, will I still have the same energy? So that was the thought that provoked me. Yes, it was wonderful. It was wonderful to see.
Yeah, thank you so much, Manju, for sharing your thoughts as well. So I think big shout out to Shuvangi for just like putting everything
Hello, am
together.
I audible now?
Yeah, I think Nitin, yeah, you are. Yeah. Nitin, we lost you again. Uh,
Can I say something?
yes.
Um, actually I want to add on to what Manju said, and because the video depict elderly women, because there are category in women also, there is intersectionality, but intersectionality in terms of age also, and very rarely we get to see elderly women like this. So I'm also really excited to see what this uh, documentary holds.
Thank you so much, Nandini. I feel it was not started as a documentary initially, maybe more for the photo exhibition that we had. But I think so that's also a brilliant idea because we have a lot of footage to use. But we can also like go on to the next slide to discuss like and to maybe talk about the project in itself. Yeah. So the project is called In Her Footsteps, Archiving Women's Oral Narratives in the Eastern Himalayas. So some of the questions off the bat, it's like, why to, how did we start it, right? Why even, is it necessary to like document those narratives? Why women's stories? What's the methodology that was used to document these? And why migration? Because it's so if you see the website, or just to give you a thought, so all the women who have been featured in a video were migrants, or like I would say they had migrated from a different nation state to India. And all of them, like I think so, it has been guessed already, these women are above the age of 65. So we wanted like elderly women, like plus 65 years, to be there as part of our project initially. One thing is because the Eastern Himalayan region is also known for its diversity and also for migration from the bordering nation states like Nepal, Bhutan, Tibet, right? And also how migration, as well as migration to outside the state, from Darjeeling to other countries or to say other cities within India. So we wanted to encapsulate that. So that was like the main preliminary thought that we had as a team. And the current history of the Eastern Himalayan region, especially Darjeeling Hills and Sikkim, is also part of the narrative of migration that has not only led to change in the demographics or but also to the politics, community identity, as well as the food cultures that we find in the region. So what this project tries to do is this project aims to record and capture the oral narratives of these women that would leave for future interpretation for future interpretation. So we wanted to capture their voices, their audios, so that interpretation can be done by researchers, would be helpful for researchers, storytellers, historians, anyone who would want to know about these women's stories or who might not be there maybe after a decade or so. and why women's stories, as well as it intersects with why migration as well, is because uh, what women's stories of migration always is seen, especially within the Himalayan context, is seen as a part of out migration of man. That is, men migrate for work and hence women accompany them. So that's been the main narrative, especially within the Eastern Himalayan region or the Western Himalayan region. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to focus on women who have independently migrated or migrated with their children without the husband playing. So some of them have migrated with their partners, some of them have migrated independently. So we wanted to capture most women who wanted to migrate independently. For what reasons? Why did they want to do it? How did they migrate? And yeah, and why migration is also because I think so that's a personal motivation that I had, was because of my own grandmothers migrating from both Tibet and Nepal. So I wanted to have an aspect of migration within it, because it's not a conversation that's much talked about within the scholarship around or within the stories. It's more about, okay, Nepal to India or the Darjeeling Hills, or going out from Darjeeling to the other cities. So that's how we talk about. But we don't talk about like these women migrating from Tibet, how they settled, how they are now Indian citizens. So that was like a personal motivation that I had on the side as well, of why I wanted to document migration, but also on the lack of diversity of these narratives, and also how memories are shaped and made with these stories of migration, right? About how these spaces are also changing due to these migrations that's happening. So what happens when we talk about migration is also we are talking about place making, how a place is being made by migrants, how then there is people making as well, how people are made, how communities are formed, what are the different, and how is the community shaped and reshaped in the way migration happens within our region. So those were some of the motivation and thought that we had while starting off this project. And one of the main things is the methodology that we used was, I think so, a feminist methodology, where when I say feminist methodology, keeping in mind the power dynamics between the researcher and the researched, we were mindful of that. We were also mindful of having diverse women out there, diversity in terms of caste, ethnicity, class as well, because a lot of the documentation, even when we talk about partition and other migration, forced migration or economic migration histories, we're also looking at women from upper class families or women from upper caste families, right? So what happens? Is there a difference when women from the working class migrate? Is there a difference when women from a certain ethnicity or so with a certain caste identity or with a certain religious identity migrate? What happens during migration? What are the decisions they make? What are the decisions they make after they migrate? So these were the things that we had in our mind when we wanted to use a methodology that was mindful and careful of these different dynamics within the researcher and the researched, as well as whose stories are we documenting, if there is a homogeneity, even if we are documenting. So we wanted like a diversity. So yeah, so that's what we had kept in mind for this project. Uh, and maybe, yeah, I think so there were a couple of questions as well, but I would also like to say that what this project aims to do, or what we aim to do, was to uncover a lot of the stories that might have been unheard, because as well as stories to look at it from a very different perspective. So that was also a shift that we wanted to make when we wanted to focus migration and migrating women within these in this oral archive project. But yeah, I'm free to take up any questions right now if there are, because I feel Nitin has dropped some questions in the chat box. Um,
Yeah, I think we can pick up Nitin's first, and then if anyone has something to ask, we can pick that up also, right? Is that okay?
Sorry, Nihal. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So Nitin's, there are two questions actually, from Nitin. One is, you mentioned naming your project as Pomelo, which represents women, as it also means for. vagina. But do you not think this is uninclusive for all women? That's the first question. And the other one is, do you not think being a feminist group, this will be uninclusive of trans and other gender communities, minorities? Sorry. Very
Thank you so much.
interesting.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nitin, for just pointing it out. Like I said in the beginning, when we started, we wanted like our voices. We didn't think of it going to larger people. It started off as okay, like these three cis women wanted to start. So which is why the person who named it so. But like I always say, which is why you won't find that meaning in our website in itself. So I feel that was the main motivation when cis women start. We wanted to at least relate it to how cis women's bodies have actually been translated within popular media in the form of a pomelo. But also, like I said, the pomelo is also a fruit that's native to the Himalayan region. So that was something that we wanted to play it out. But yeah, but that's something that, yeah, Nitin. So I don't think so it's uninclusive, in short. Yeah.
Any other questions? We can move on otherwise.
Yeah,
But yeah, Sunny.
yeah. So, um, yeah, I got really intrigued by this this oral narrative, because I myself am about to start my own project called Hamro Jamana. Uh, so it's based on all the narratives of old people, and how uh, we can I can help to understand myself first, to preserve the culture through their oral narratives. And uh, I was so excited when I was looking at this. And you were saying about this migrating woman and unheard stories, right? So what kind of stories, can we get a gist of it?
Thank you so much, Sunny, for that question. I feel when I say unheard stories, I'm also trying to say, to put in short, when we went, so the woman, so I'll give you an example of one woman whom we had interviewed, who was from a working class family. Her partner worked as a laborer in Darjeeling. So when we are looking at their stories, I think so class, ethnicity, and gender also intersect in ways in which she was talking about how documentation was so difficult for her to find Aadhaar card, because because of this class hierarchy, right, that comes. So I think so that was one stark example of how ways in which our stories have different layers into it. Her experiences of being from a particular class shaped the way in which when she migrated to Darjeeling, in how she was documented, and how she had to find a work. And during the whole the protest for the Gorkhaland movement, I think so, Chhati Ko Andolan, how she also became like how people had come to her home and searched for her husband or were asking for her husband. So I think so these are some narratives that we can that I found, right? And that's just one example. There are other more narratives than that we are transcribing as well. So but yeah, keeping that in mind, I think it's always like with every story, it's always a new story. And yeah, it's always unheard of, especially because we have to keep in mind of these intersections. Yeah. But thank you so much, Sunny, for that question, and I hope I answered.
Yes,
Mm.
thank you so much.
Yeah, maybe we can move in to the next slide. Nandini. So this is an activity that I wanted all of us to do shortly. It's called questions and interrogations. Okay, it was about, if given a chance, what would you like to ask, either yourself or your friend? So that's the first pointer. The second is choose either the past, present, or the future self, either of yourself or your friend or your close family member, and list maybe 3 questions that you would want to ask. Yeah, if we can take like 2 minutes and do this activity, yeah, it's just to reframe our mind. It will all come when we go on to the next slides. Yeah, I think it will all make sense. Yeah.
Okay, Nangsel, can you repeat it for me? The first one, if given a chance, what would you like to ask yourself? Like, are
Yeah,
you
you can ask what would you like to ask
okay?
yourself? What would you like to ask a close friend or a family? Like, what are the things that you'd want to ask? And
Okay,
yeah, in that ways.
thank you.
Can be as open or like bizarre you want. I think so a minute is enough for everyone. So I've started the timer on my phone. Yeah. It's like in case it's not visible. Yeah. I think so. Our 1 minute is over. Have we written down the 3 questions? Like, if you can give a reaction, like a thumbs up, so that I know like most of the people have like finished. Okay. Thank you, Payal. Yeah. Maybe let's take 30 seconds more to like frame our questions. It can be simple questions. Yeah. Yes, Kirti, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask what is the difference between question number one and the question number three?
Oh, it's just the question number one is just a hint that what you have to ask, whom you would want to ask, and and the pointer two is to either choose like the past, their past, your friend's past, the present, or the future, and then to list the 3 questions that you would want to ask.
Thank you.
I think so. 30 seconds are over as well. So happy finished the questions. Does anyone want to share what are the 3 questions they would like to ask themselves or their friends? You'd not like to share, or like one question that you framed in this short span?
It's okay if it is silly.
Yeah, it's completely fine, Sunny. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So the first question, if given a chance, what would you like to ask? Um, I would like to ask if you are to describe yourself as a color, what would you be? And second is, I'll go with present. And for the third question, uh, it's so silly. Okay, how to be okay, and why do we think, and is there a parallel universe?
Love the question, Sunny. Thank you so much for sharing. And I don't think so. They were like silly. They were like good questions. Yeah. Anyone else? We can maybe take up one person next if they want to go and share. Yeah.
Probably I can share next.
Uh, okay. Then yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. First question to my past self, uh, 2 years ago. I would ask my past self, do you know who Nihal is? Because I really needed a program like this 2 years back, and I needed a support group like this 2 years back. This came late, but there I durustai. First question. Second question, I will really go back and ask my grandmother for her soup recipe because I've been craving that a lot today. And the third question would be to my future self, that is a year later. Uh, what essential life skills did I learn from this?
Thank you so much, Ramesh, for sharing it. These were like lovely questions. And I think so the soup recipe, like it hits. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ramesh. So maybe I hope you all enjoyed this little activity of like asking questions and interrogations. So this is something that you can do as well. Maybe you choose like a phase, like a past, present, or the future. When we want to interact with people or like collaborate or interview, this is what I also do often. It's choose what you want to question, right? And it can be silly and it can be fun as well. Yeah. So this is just like a warm up before you ask all the serious questions. You can ask these questions when you like interview people or like meet up people for research purposes or like when you want to write a story about them. So yeah. Nandini, is it okay if you can go to the next slide? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. When I was looking at this session, I wanted it to be. Nihal, please also give me a heads up for the time. Like, what's the time remaining? Okay, I think so that would also be like helpful so that we
Yeah,
don't.
we have like 22 minutes remaining.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So, what is it about re-searching stories in the Eastern Himalayas? I think so because there's also this immersion program that we are also excited about because it's happening in Kalimpong in the Eastern Himalayan region, right? And Kalimpong is such a important historical like town. Yeah. So maybe even like when we are thinking about it, we can think keeping in Kalimpong in mind as well when we go. And I hope there are some key takeaways of this session that you'll be careful and mindful when you go to Kalimpong and when you interact with people and communities. So what are we searching for? Is a question that I wanted to ask myself. So this is also something that it's an inner monologue that I had with myself. It's what are we searching for? What's the need to re-search or research? Because there's so much of emphasis on anything that we do is to do research. Research kariye, likhiye, research. And because also of my academic training as a researcher, I have so much, these are the questions that haunt me. It's like, what do you search for, right? Why, how is it different from, say, research versus re-hyphen search? And why to do this re-hyphen search? And why is it important? What is the lens we work with? And can you work with different perspectives? So I'll be briefly touching upon all of these things. It's yeah. So when we go to what we do is to go again and again to those places, right? To find something new. I think so that's what like a lot of people, even in the first, or when I asked everyone to share their expectation, it was to like observe. That's part of research. You wanted to learn new things. That's part of research. You wanted to meet new people. That's part of research. You wanted to like know about the Northeast. That's research. You wanted to again know about like new work, and that's research, right? And there was also like new stories you wanted to hear about, that's also research. So all these components or the expectations that you had can be accumulated into what we would say as research. But then why is this re-hyphen search important? I feel there's a certain need sometimes to find for something new and find something novel. I think so. This also ties with what Sunny had asked me. What is the new unheard story that I uncovered? And like I answered, it was not a new unheard story. The documentation process is difficult. It is this re-hyphen search of looking at it through a certain lens, which is important when you go to communities, when you interview people and interact with them. That's the main idea of this re-hyphen search, where the search is not of something new, where the search is old. It's old, it's tired, it's already done. You don't need a new thing to search and research and write about. I think so what we need to do is invert the lens in which we are trying to completely do research. कि कुछ नया चाहिए, नया आउनु पर्छ है, नया topic. Where's the research gap? I feel this search for new can be paused for a bit. Every time we don't need to go with this energy of searching for new. New is exciting, but maybe also looking at those old things that's already done and having to re-look at it in a different lens is what is needed. And I wanted this re-hyphen search Ching stories in the Eastern Himalayas to be about it. Scholars have written, colonial historians have written, geographers have written, everyone has written. Everyone has written, talked about. You'll find a plethora of work on any story in the Eastern Himalayan region. I think so. There is no corner that's left unexplored. Or maybe there is a corner left unexplored. But what is missing is what we want to search. That is what we are searching for. What we are searching for is we are searching through a different lens. We are not searching for something new. We are searching for something old that has not been searched again, or that has been hidden away, or that has not been paid heed to, or it's in passing, right? And yeah, and this is what I wanted to say is why is it important, or why should we do it though? To not do something new as well. Good and exciting if you do something new as well, is what I wanted to emphasize. It's okay to do something old, what people have already done, but through a different lens. Is it important? Yes, of course it's important, because the lens that we are bringing in, that's the fourth question. What is the lens that we are bringing is important to the question. I think so Nitin asked, right, about like, okay, the pomelo, is it trans exclusive? Is it exclusive to those who don't maybe have who were not born with what we would be categorized as biological female? And I think so that is the lens we need, a newer lens to look at things, to question it differently. And maybe Nitin, that comes from a different your educational background, right? Or maybe that comes from a lived experience that you have. That is what we need to bring in when we question, and question whatever is already there. That's what we want. That's what I wanted to work with, is what's the lens that we work with. And even in the oral archive project, that's the lens that we were completely using. When I say feminist methodology, it was not only about like power, it was about power dynamics. It was also about class. It was also about caste. It was also about gender. Are we talking about women enough? Centering women in women's stories. Or are we talking about women as a category or a byproduct of this migration that's happening in the Himalayan region? Or are we also just looking as a women as a add-on, like a women ko add karo, mix karo, ho gaya feminism or feminist methodology? Question those things, right? And I think so that's what we wanted to do, is like, okay, women cannot just be an add-on when you are working with stories of migration, or when you're working with stories in the Eastern Himalayas, where it's not just about the hills. Maybe there's something more. People live in it, so it's about the people, but which kind of people, what type of people, where are they coming from, and to be mindful of those as well. So this is also about working with different perspectives. And here I'm not saying we need to work with one perspective, but maybe one perspective that has already been worked and seen in the surface level. We come from different perspectives. Our social realities have shaped us up. Our social upbringing has shaped us. Our educational background has shaped us. Our social identity has shaped our ideas and the way we interact with the world, right? That's why I even feel like when Sunny said like they wanted to this Hamru Zamanama project, maybe it's something that comes from his him wanting to do something new, and something new in a different lens. Maybe he's exploring something else that no one has ever done that. Maybe with older people, maybe with people from a certain generation. So of course we can work with different perspectives, but what kind of perspectives we are working with, it's that is also really important when you do this like research. And when we shift, and I feel this is what I wanted to say, get at, is we need to shift the gaze as well. There has been a certain gaze that goes when you look at stories in the Eastern Himalayas. I feel because I was not aware, like when I come, it's all about the mountains, the greenery. It's about slowness, like we said. And it's also about like these women who were working, right? And maybe I think so Manju shared, these women were like doing some work. But who were these women doing some work? It's like important, like, yeah, right? And what kind of work were they doing? Were they doing it for money? Were they doing it for passion? The teaser just tells us a little bit about it, but maybe furthermore things can be explored. And we need to shift that gaze as well, and unlearning as we go about to shift those gaze. Because me as a researcher from the region, when I go there, I have certain stereotypes because of my lived experience in Darjeeling. If I go, I know this person is like this, their personality is this way, the way I interact to them will be in a certain way. When I am from a different city, say I'm from Banaras, I'm going to Darjeeling, and you've heard about, oh, Darjeeling ke log kitne अच्छे होते हैं, पहाड़ के लोग कितने सीधे साधे होते हैं. If you are going from those stereotypes and things, maybe that's your opportunity to challenge these stereotypes. Positive, negative, all these stereotypes need to be challenged. The gaze needs to be shifted. You need to be uncomfortable when you are challenging these stereotypes, when you are looking at the Eastern Himalayan region. And any community that we are working with, we need to challenge the stereotypes, the assumptions about a person, community, or even an incident, and look into ourselves first and question, okay, let me take a step back. Let me see what stereotypes I'm going with and how is it affecting when I'm doing this research, when I'm writing stories, when I'm documenting these. What are the stereotypes that I'm bringing along? How is it coloring, or how is it affecting what I'm producing at the end of this thing? You are interacting. Maybe I want to start a podcast. Maybe I want to do a photo essay. Maybe I want to do a documentary. But me, how do I affect? How do I color? Is something I want us to go do the old thing first. Relook at it, shift the gaze, be uncomfortable, and see, okay, what if I do it in a different way? What happens? Have I considered this? If I'm looking at gender, have I considered caste? Have I considered religious identity? Have I considered their educational level? Have I considered the age? Maybe just relooking at those things that you already are working with. I think so that's something that I want us, like when we are doing the research, is to do the re-hyphen search first before you do the research, to find something novel, to find this research gap, or to find a new story. So yeah, so this is like keeping this one here, leaving it out here so that we can go to a next activity that I really wanted to do. Keeping in mind we have like 11 minutes. So if we can do like a quick short activity. Yeah, so this is re-looking at privileges. It's so I am sure like Nandini must have shared a page with you, like a PDF with you. Nandini, I might need your support. Yeah.
It's in the WhatsApp group, friends.
Yes, yes.
So read the first 2 pages of that white privilege, unpacking the invisible knapsack. Because it connects to what I've said, it will connect to what I'll say next. So maybe read those first 2 pages. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have already read it already. So this is an activity that I wanted to do. Yeah. And we will be creating a breakout rooms in groups of 3. So yeah, there are like 11 of us. So maybe like 3 groups where you can discuss about, like, you can read in the group and maybe create 3 lists, list 3 things that you want to like write in the way Peggy McIntosh does. Just to give you an example out here, before we break out into the breakout rooms, Nandini, I'll just give this little demo. It's when you read it, you'll come to know she's talking about her white privilege as a woman. And this is from coming from a very racial upper class privilege that Peggy has, and then she's writing those pointers out there. And I would want us to do that same activity, list at least 3 things down. For example, I'll say I can join this session knowing fully that I do not have to worry if I'm getting my next meal, right? I'm here in the session. I know it's 5:50. I know if I go at 7 p.m. in the kitchen, I can cook some food. I don't have to worry about, okay, I'll starve, right? That is a privilege that comes from, any guesses? Class. It's a class privilege that I have. I don't have to worry about the next meal, right? Simple thing it can be, I can join this session knowing that I will not be judged on the basis of my, in the way in which I converse in English. So this is the privilege that I have of my education, because I was educated in an English speaking school. I'm able to converse in English. So I don't have hesitation that you all will judge me, or I will be judged in a way, okay, इसने pronunciation गलत कर दिया, ये बड़ा शब्द कैसे गलत किया. Maybe I won't stress on that. So it's a privilege of my education. So maybe in that way, if you can like create 3 lists of things that you think after reading those 2 pages, maybe I like, yeah. So we can do that in the breakout rooms. Nandini, maybe you can create the breakout rooms. If you have already, you can open the breakout room.
I'm creating the breakout
Oh, okay,
rooms.
okay, Nihal.
3
Thank you
rooms.
so much. Yeah. 3 rooms,
Okay.
30 minutes. So maybe, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Or we can do 2 minutes as well. I think so that works.
Okay, works. I'm just sorting. Yeah. Should I open it now?
Yes, yes.
All right.
They can read in the reading room, I think. Yeah. Breakout room, sorry.
I've assigned you also. Aditya, are you there? Sunny, can you join? Yeah, I came in just to let you know. There's another person. Aditya also is joining. Why? What are we supposed to do? Sorry, I was in the middle. I have to read that.
Yeah, you have to read the 2 pages of the list that she has created, and
Okay.
maybe create a list for yourself as well. Like at least a list of 3 things that you think, you know, in its
Okay. Thank you. I will exit this room because some people may drop off. I'll put that.
Yes, yes. Sure, Nihal.
Hello, so are you guys reading right now?
Yes, Nehal?
Yeah, you guys are reading, no, now, right now?
Uh, uh,
Mm-mm-mm. Okay. How much time do you all need more?
how much time do we have?
Do you need? Do you all need?
Yeah, I was just writing few questions, Nehal. If I can get a few more time.
2 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, Nehal.
Another one is like I don't feel scared to talk with male and all, like male guy and all, like not that nervousness and all. I'm like frank to the male guys and all. Like I think I have grown up with my elder brother. No, that's why I'm just frank. No, and that's
No, Aditya, we don't. We just need to read the first 2 pages. Nihal, I think the time is over. So what happens during?
So I can end the close the breakout rooms so everyone can
Okay.
converge. Then we can have a discussion.
Yeah, I think it's okay if we can like close the breakout rooms.
Okay.
And
Okay, sure.
is like everyone back, Nihal, from the breakout room?
Yeah, there was a countdown running, so I guess everyone is back. Yeah, there you go.
Hi everyone. Just checking if like you've made the list of 3 things that you think. Like Peggy's most of the sentences start with like I can do this without the fear of something. Yeah. So like just need like a quick reaction if it's like done. Like if you can like give an emoji of like a thumbs up in the chat box. So yeah. Or you need like more time to frame those questions, so we can give like a minute more. So maybe let's take like a minute more to frame our questions. It does not need to be like not question sentences. It does not need to be long. It can be very simple. Yeah. And maybe start with the sentence, I can do this, and like without the fear of this or without this being the case. Yeah. Yeah. I hope everyone has at least made one sentence that they can share, like, yeah. But we can maybe go to the next slide, Nandini, if that's okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to read, like, after I realized, I don't think so it's in the PDF that was shared with you. This is like the same essay, but in a different website where it's the longer version. So it's Peggy writes, after I realized the extent to which men work from a base of unacknowledged privilege, I understood that much of their oppressiveness was unconscious. Then I remember the frequent charges from women of color that white women whom they encounter are oppressive. I began to understand why we are justly seen as oppressive, even when we don't see ourselves that way. So I think it reflects on about critical reflexivity, about your position, your privilege, and when you interact with communities, which is almost unconscious. Peggy says that this privilege is almost unacknowledged and it comes from it's unconscious. They don't think about it, they don't reflect about it. So maybe reflecting and thinking about our privileges, even though we come from like different genders, it's like important to think about that. Yeah. But would anyone want to share what they have written, like any yeah, maybe even one sentence? That would be nice. Yeah. I think Sunehal has written, I can, if I wish to choose to travel wherever and whenever I want to go in India. So yeah, so that's a privilege of gender that Nihal has. So thank you so much, Nihal, for like sharing. M Sang, do you want to go next?
Yeah, that my privilege is that I'm being a self-earner, so I don't have to be dependent on my family or anyone. So I could pay my academic fees and whatever I want.
Thank you so much, M Sang, for sharing that. I'm not sure. Would Aditya, would you want to share if you've like formed a sentence? Or like, yeah, yeah, go ahead, Aditya.
Yes, my privilege would be that I can stay out late at night without having to explain myself to my parents. Comparatively, maybe someone from another gender won't be allowed to, but I have seen.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for sharing that. Would anyone want to share? Yeah. Manju?
Maybe,
Yeah.
yes. So my privilege is the first one is that uh, I can rest assured that if something happens to me physically or if an emergency arises, then my friends and family will be there to support me. That is my privilege. The second privilege is that I can expect that if there is some sort of someone is in need in my community, for example, if someone dies, then the entire community will be there to support and help that person in need. That is one of the privilege I share in my community. And then the another one uh, is that I can rest assured that I can decide to do anything I want to do in my life. Like if I want to study, I can. I have that privilege, and if I want to work, then I can do that. That is one of my privileges. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Manju, for sharing all three. But if due to like time, I'm just like, if we all can share one at least. So I feel I don't want to call out names, but it would be nice if you can just like, no, it's completely fine, Manju, not
It's
an issue.
completely fine. Also, like, because we are running a little out of time, I hope it's okay for everyone if we take 10 more minutes, right? Are you guys okay? Will you guys? Uh... Okay, cool. I see a thumbs up. Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, Nangsel. Yeah, please carry on.
So just one sentence, if there is any privilege. Okay. Lavanya, Nitesh. I'm so sorry to be calling out the names, but yeah. Kirti, Sunny, if you want to share.
Okay, I'll go next.
Okay, thank you, Nandini. Yeah.
I have the privilege of questioning things around me, questioning people around me because of my education.
Thank you so much, Nandini. Does anyone else wants to share? Can wait for like 10 seconds more. It's okay. Okay. I think so Lavanya has written, I think I have the privilege of having a place to return to, a shelter. Always, no matter where I go and for how long. Yes, Lavanya. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. As well.
I have the privilege to be an artist and also to, if I'm late while doing my artwork outside, even if I'm late, it's okay because I'm a guy.
Thank you so much, Sunny, for sharing. I also wanted to share before, like, if no one else has to. I can wear a lipstick without being questioned on my gender identity because I'm a cisgender woman, so I won't be questioned. So yeah, that's a privilege that I have. Yeah. So if no one has to share, then maybe we can go to the next slide, Nandini. I'll try to wrap it up as well. So I think my last slide, it's like this is the second last slide. So don't worry, after this, I just have one more slide. It's about why this activity, I wanted us to do this activity is to reflect and to understand the privileges that we have. Also to be mindful when we are doing this re-hyphen searching that I said. Like when we are talking about the gays, we are talking about stereotypes, when we are talking about prejudices that we might have, or assumptions about people, community, places that we have, to understand these privileges and how our understandings are also shaped by them, right? I feel when you go for this emotion session as well, to keep in mind the privileges that you are going from. Maybe someone is traveling from Delhi, maybe someone is traveling from another city to a smaller town. So how can you be mindful of your privileges, of even the geographical privileges of that you have when you're going to a smaller town? But also, what are the things that we wanted to keep in mind? It's also about and the ethical considerations that we have, right? And I feel the ethical consideration, first and foremost, is of the power dynamics that we have when we are talking about communities, because that community can be your own community, the community that your parents or you belong to, or the communities that might be very different from you. If you're doing some project or if you're doing some other work or writing stories, documenting them in any way. So to be mindful of these power dynamics that you might bring along with yourself, right? When I think Nandini and a lot of others also had to share about the education or like having a family, that also means we come from, it is a basic right as well. And it's also a privilege to be able to come with certain knowledge and ideas of life and the world that we have. And to keep that in mind when we interact with another person who might not share the same worldview or might have a different worldview than you have. So that is also a power dynamic that you can bring along, right? And I think so Aditya, Nihal, Sunny, they brought their own privilege of being from like a cis man. And then that comes from their gender identity as like men. So keeping that power dynamic, maybe if they're interacting with a woman, would they be open to sharing everything? How would it differ when a woman wants to share with maybe Nehal and Aditya versus how they would be like comfortable to sharing it with, say, M Sang or me, who would be visibly female identifying or femme identifying. So these are the questions that we need to have of power dynamics of gender, class, caste when you are like doing or researching these stories as well. Um, And I think so one question that I also wanted to like connect the dots for all the activities that we've done. Why did we do activity 1, the activity 2? What's about the researching the stories? It's also about empathy that needs to be embedded within the way we do things. It's not also awareness about others, but also awareness about yourself in relation to others. What are you bringing when you go to a certain place, right? I'll give you an example is when I do a lot of research, I have a lot of devices. Uh, there can be a recorder, there can be a camera, there can be a laptop, an iPad, right? These are the devices if I bring, it's in a situation that I give. Another person who might not be having these many devices might be a little uncomfortable with what I'm bringing, the gadgets that I'm bringing, right? So these are smaller things, but I also feel like it's also an awareness that one needs to have. That if you want to document stories, if you want to like interact with someone, that these might also, this is also I'm talking about through a very community research oriented perspective, that these might also be some things that they might not be comfortable with. So maybe being aware of that, because I know there's a tendency of us going with our camera and clicking people, so clicking people, places. So that is something that we need to be aware of when we go to other communities, of how it is seen. Is it coming from very touristic lens? Is it coming from a research lens? How will you be perceived? How will they perceive? Is there consent involved in doing those things? So that's like something. And also having empathy. I think so like one of the main things that I've like learned throughout the years of me like doing research, interacting with people and communities is empathy is at the heart of like doing any research. Um, yeah, to go from a lens of empathy is very, very essential for any community. And I think so that's also what comes with empathy is also respect and trust building later on that follows. So yeah, whatever stories they yeah. So that's like something I wanted to emphasize. And it's a question I'm leaving us to reflect on is like, do you think research hyphen slash writing is shaped and affected by us, right? What if the research that Sunny is doing maybe on say Hamro Zamana, if I would be doing, how would it be different? If Nitin was doing, how would it be different? If Aditya was doing, how would it be different, right? So to think about how is it being shaped and affected by us as individuals, is also to something that we should reflect and to think about. It's something that I wanted to leave a note. Yeah. So maybe in the last slide, we can just, yeah. Anandini, is it okay if you can just like switch to the next slide? Yeah. Yeah, so I think this is what Nehal also wanted me to talk about, ways of documentation. Uh, but I also feel like I wanted to ask, is there a right medium of documentation? Because I talked about how Pomelo and as a team, we are documenting oral narratives. At the same time, we are also doing work that's documenting them on a digital platform that's written, right, in text format. There's oral, and then there is the teaser that you saw, that is the visual. And is there a right one? I would say, I don't think so there is a right medium, but it's also a medium that speaks to you, right? One of the things that I also say for the oral archive, I wanted women's voices as the way they sound to be there. I feel so much of it is lost in translation. When you translate it from, say, any language, say even Hindi, Nepali to English, and sometimes the silences also say a lot. Like, I know the silence means something, or a sentence is sarcastic. But sometimes does not translate when you write it. So I wanted those silences, those pauses, those hesitation of before answering a question to be there as it is. So it's left for larger interpretation. So is there a right one? I don't think so there is a right one, but yeah, but there might be a right one for a specific project that you want to do. So the other thing also I wanted to highlight is like how we write stories using all our sensory aspects, like our taste, our smell, our hearing, right? Our like what we see, that's like the sensory aspects. Maybe we can use that within our documentation process as well. using those sensory aspects, how it can be encapsulated when we document it, or how you, as the person who's leading that documentation, how we can co-create knowledge or like co-create information or anything with using those sensory aspects of you as well as the others. I think so. It's also important for us to look at collaboration. Can there be different forms of collaboration between different medium, right? Can there be an oral thing as well? Can there be a written thing as well? Can there be oral, written, plus a video as well? So looking at these different mediums of like documentation is also something that you can think about, reflect in your own work. I also feel like there is like a lot of space for creativity. Like the sky is the limit when documentation comes. I feel a lot of young researchers, like or researchers, are like documenting music, right? The songs of a particular instrument, or they're documenting weaving from a particular community, or even food. I felt like I think so. It was like Ramiz who shared it, or I don't remember. Yeah, about the food, the soup that they wanted to ask.
Ramiz, yeah,
Yeah.
Ramiz.
So maybe taking those things in mind, like how food has been cooked. Like say example, if you're Marathi, how Puran Poli was cooked when your grandmother was there, the recipe. That's also a form of documentation, right? Food can also tell a lot of stories. Like the food in my home, it's like a mix of like Tibetan, Nepali, and that talks about the place that I am coming from. Darjeeling, it's a mix of everything. So it's like our food on a platter tells me about that, right? Maybe in Delhi, it tells us a lot, like curry chawal. What does it tell about? It's like about Punjabi culture. It's about like even in Himachal, it's so popular. So maybe it talks about a lot of the intermixing of cultures as well, the whole way in your house food is shaped. Yeah, I am saying that's interesting. Butter chicken, or like um, yeah, bati chokha. I love bati chokha, but like how your grandmother cooks, how someone else cooks, like how has it been cooked, how has it been changed, that can be documented as well. So there is like ways in which I feel there can be a lot of creativity in this. And again, to emphasize that consent is key in any form of documentation ahead. It's like asking, do they agree to be part of it? Would they want their audio to be used? Right? If it's so I feel why is it also important? I just want to add to this and the previous it's see if we don't want to be extractivist, we just don't want to do parachute journalism, go there, drop there, do all the research, come up and maybe cause trouble. So a lot of the times it's important that whenever you leave those spaces after your documentation, you don't jeopardize anyone, be it from your community, be it not from your community. The information they share sometimes is vital, sometimes you don't know it's very vital. It's only for you, and you need to be very considerate in how it's being handled, because you don't know what information can be misused, and people are little skeptical as well when information is given. Like when I ask, okay, is there a doctor that comes to your place, they're like, okay, why? There will be like you will misuse it in some way. So I think so reassuring them, and consent is key also, like adding to that just be careful that it's a collaborative process. Documentation, it's a collaboration between you and the person and the community, or the and anything who is involved in the other side of the table, right? And I feel at the end it's like doing what speaks to you. What speaks to you can be very different for everyone, coming from our own personal interest, from our own experiences, or something that you've read and you thought this might be interesting. So at the end of the day, documentation or any form of research is also like what speaks to you at the end of the day, because it's you will be motivated and you will be happy while doing it, I feel. Yeah. So I think so that's it, and I feel there's a last slide for Q&A if there are any questions. So Nandini, maybe in the last slide you can, yeah,
I have a question.
please.
This is in terms of what Pomelo, like, when you talked about consent, when you're on the field, like, in different contexts, like, we meet different kinds of people. So, like, what is the most simple way of like, asking for content? I mean, not content, sorry, consent. Like, in a sense that, like, if you, is verbal enough is also one question, like, have
Yeah, Nihal, I feel so. What we did is also, yeah, verbal is enough. You can record when they give consent. I ask, देखिए मैं ये रिकॉर्ड करने वाली हूँ इस काम के लिए, क्या आप इसका सहमति देंगे? तो आप हाँ बोल दीजिएगा, है ना? You give the सहमति, and maybe they, and after the interview, before the interview, both times you can just give a heads up. See, after the end, you don't want them to use their name, don't use their name. ऐसे आपको फोटो नहीं खिंचवाना है, मत खिंचवाइए. It's okay. If Nangsel does not want to, if someone is interviewing me and says, okay, I don't want to, it's okay. I can just give, like, say S. I don't have, and removing all the personal identifiers. If consent is not given, but they say, okay, you can take the information, but I don't want my face, my name, or any personal. So that needs to be assured as well. कि एक alternative है as well. But also being very frank and open. And it also depends upon like project to project, what type. If it's a visual project, if they don't want to show their face, what we did, at least in one of my essays that I did, was like the photographer, Yavan, he shot a lot of photos like back of the head or like short photos and hid the face, right? And when I was writing the essay, I removed all the personal identifiers. I changed their name from their real name to something else. I changed like some of their age as well, so that they can't be pinpointed and yeah, targeted. And it was for a queer representation in the hills, so I had to be more mindful when I was doing that project, because not everyone wants to like be visible, and it's a small town where everyone knows everyone, so I had to be more careful on that. So yeah.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me. That is a great article. That's been published, I think, by the Confluence Collective, right? So Yavan is also a friend of mine, who is a photographer, and basically, I would love to share it with the cohort also, like the work on that small piece, and maybe you could share the website wherever it's published. I think it's in the Confluence Collective website itself. I'd love to share it here with the cohort. So, like, we're trying to create a repository of interesting stuff. So, yeah. But thanks for the question. Anyone else uh, has questions?
Questions, disagreements, I'm so open to them. Even if you've disagreed with whatever I've said, that's also like important. Like you don't have to agree to whatever I've shared today. But yeah. And thank you so much, everyone. I would just like to thank everyone as well for just being there and being part till the end. I'm so sorry it went so long. I didn't imagine when Nandini had texted, I was like, okay, 1 ghante mein I'll wrap up. That's what I had in my mind. I didn't know it would go so long. So yeah, apologies for that. Yeah. But if anyone has any question, please feel free to like get in touch with me. Nihal, you can share my contact details as well, like the email, at least for the Pomelo, or my personal email as well, if you want to like reach out to me, or if there is any form of collaboration we can do. That's a scope that I would leave for. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, looking forward to it. I don't have any question, but uh, like I said earlier, I was not expecting anything, but at the end, I am so much energized and I have so much of information right in front of me. I have noted it, and thank you so much. It is going to be of good help in my future project. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sunny, for sharing it. I hope it helps you in your future project. Yeah. Looking forward to Hamza Zaman.
Okay, then, if there are no, I just want to, I know I didn't want to break the conversation, but Lavanya had also mentioned something on the group, on the chat. I think I've had the privilege. Oh, it's the privilege thing. Just wanted to share that. I think I have had the privilege of having a place to return to a shelter, basically. Always, no matter where I go and how long and for how long. So yeah. So yeah, I think thanks Lavanya also for sharing, and thank you so much Nangsel for giving us that extra time. That oh, and I know it went overboard, but I think I didn't
I
feel it.
apologize in advance.
No, no, no.
I'm like
It
all the
didn't feel
data facts
like.
I'll go for.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also like it didn't feel like is what I wanted to say. I'm not so sure for the others because they have been sitting the whole day. But for like it was really interesting. A lot of things, like the whole word research, when it's hyphenated, the meaning of it, and how to look at different perspectives, just getting them all together is something like Sunny also mentioned right now, like um, a lot of information to relook at, and relook at things the way we do. So I think that was a very interesting point that you highlighted. So Lavanya, Manju, everyone, photo time. We do a screenshot, we do a ritual that's of a screenshot. So yeah, get ready guys. Nitin, can you switch on your um screen, video screen camera? I don't know. Manju is sick, so yeah. Aditya, I know you are in the metro, but if you can try. No worries, Nitin. Okay, so let's go for it. Three, two, one. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nangsel. Also, this video, I'm asking you consent now. This video will be put up on a YouTube page. Is it okay if we share it there?
Yeah.